management.
Welcome back to the program. Good morning, Nigeria and the network service. And it's time now for newspaper review, but just in a moment.
Thanks for staying with us. We have our newspaper reviewer here, Chukudi Okoli Ubaja. Chooks, it's good to see you again.
Thank you so much, Demola. Forget all those moya pieces what they give you. I love you. I really do. Hello, Claire.
Well, since you love Demola, I don't know what else you
But
want
I
to
said everything is clear about Claire.
That does not
Yesterday.
amount to that. It's not the same thing as loving Demola.
That's when they go.
And I hope you know what. I hope you better qualify it
Newspaper review.
before we begin to. Anyway, let's start with the Daily Times.
Women.
And the Daily. What have we done?
You
No,
said you're men. We men.
Federal government revokes more than 1,000 mineral licenses for defaulting annual fees. That's on the front page of the Daily Times. And then, of course, other stories there. NIMET predicts 3-day rain, thunderstorm in Adamawa, Kaduna, Bauchi, and other states. And Abbas seeks medical trade partnerships as Cuba strengthens ties with Nigeria. And failed transactions, banks' customers decry delay, tedious process of money reversal. That's on page 11. And other stories there. Okay, we've said this. Demola.
Okay, I have the Business NG here. Let me just start with Business NG. iPod warns Tinubu, DSS over Kanu's health. Then we have Remi Tinubu raises 20 billion naira for National Library. Details of that story can be found on page 11. And just below that nameplate, we have post 14 banks scale CBN capital test. Nigeria's GDP grows by 4.23% on oil rebound. Natasha returns to Senate, says no apology. Parents cry out as private schools hike fees nationwide. Then from that one, we move on to the Blueprint newspaper. Just below that nameplate, Idris hails MBTE for creative media skills development. CDS hails Nigeria-US military health collaboration. Foreign reserves hit $43.05 billion. CBN cut interest rates to 27%. Remi Tinubu raises 20.4 billion naira for National Library. Chooks, it's over
Yes.
to you.
Foreign reserves hitting 43 point, what?
$43.05 billion.
I think it's beginning to get in the region of what we had under Obasanjo.
Yes.
And that's a great leap. It is a great leap. Somebody called me yesterday and said, I don't miss newspaper review. I like the way you do it. But yesterday, you became a Tinubu apologist. You know, I said, hey, Sonny, you're free to say what you say. Privately, I said I'm a fan of his. But my journalism would always analyze what Tinubu is doing for us, doing to Nigerians, because he's our president. We voted him in there, and he must be accountable to us. You separate the journalism from the emotional person. That's how I explained it to him. But I also said that there are practical things to the things I say. It's not just that food prices crashed. It is that in the past 4 months, the foreign exchange seems to have stabilized a bit. 5 months. So when people bring emotions into things, I plead with my fellow journalists in the newsroom. Hold politicians accountable. They must be accountable to the people. And we are the people who beam the torchlight on them.
Okay,
but also, when things begin to show signs of Be a journalist, because it's about factuality, fairness, accuracy, objectivity, and balance.
Okay, Chukwudi, let's,
Yes, my dear.
let's quickly, there are quite a number of other stories. 3 soldiers bagged life imprisonment, 1 gets 15 years. And the reason for this is why I'm actually raising it for you to
Please go
speak
ahead.
onto. For aiding terrorists. Yes, terrorists. And I think this paper puts it in a way, it said, for selling arms. The blueprint puts it, they said, for selling arms to enemy.
Hooray! The National Security Advisor poured curses, malediction on people who were giving government arms to people to terrorize our country. That's about 5 or 6 months ago. Zulum told us, look, there are blacklegs in the army who are aiding these people. So that is not the new information. The new information is we are bringing them to comeuppance. That is deserved punishment. And that takes us a step further. I respect men in uniform. My brother was a captain in the army before he died in Operation Zaki. You know? So I respect them beyond defining being a soldier in those days. But we must also make soldiers know that you are in such an honorable position on behalf of the country that you cannot afford to do anything that lets us down, because that uniform is sacred. Very sacred.
I've always said I had very, 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 very high respect for the green.
Yes, I saw your report. You showed it.
Yes, for the green uniform.
Yes.
Not just because I attended, a military school, primary school, but also because.
Oh, is that why you're a militant?
Because I was part, and parcel. I inherited the discipline, and there is.
You grew up in Dodon Barracks. Yes, I know the story.
You understand, and there's the discipline in the military, especially Nigerian army.
Yes.
You can't. I mean, you can't fault.
And the courage. We stopped the wars in
courage.
Sierra Leone and Liberia.
Yes.
You could make it a Comog.
Absolutely.
But we were the pathfinders.
Yes, you could find some bad elements, and that's why Nigerians say, when you discover them, please do the right thing.
And that's why they're fishing them out right now.
Fish them out. Not just this Nigerian army, the police as well.
Exactly.
Other services.
Yes.
Do these things, and then you continue to build more and more confidence in the Nigerian public. Then you will earn their support. You will earn their loyalty.
I'm jealous. She's become the newspaper reviewer.
No, I'm sorry. I needed to raise.
Claire, but
I needed to raise
that education. I needed it as well. Please, my dear. Me.
I needed.
I don't occupy this position here.
Just a quick one as well. Just a quick one as well.
Yes.
Yesterday we had we talked about resumption of the National Assembly, and while we were at it, the news broke that there's been a delayed resumption, from yesterday to I think a further 2 weeks. Yes. And we were finding it difficult, to really explain why. The honourable member here was, tried to give us but today we hear National Assembly resumption delayed over budget concerns, independent celebrations. Well, this is what this paper is reporting.
Yes. The Natasha issue, if you watch me on Facebook, I tell them I will never descend to the level of discussing, maybe I did this to me privately, maybe it says he did. You don't do that at that level. If they have private problems, let them go out and solve it privately. Mine was, I kept saying, 6 months suspension. What will happen to representation for his constituents? And remember, the judge that handled that case also talked about what my layman's mind went to initially. Let us not bring back old animosities. Now she's back. Can some emotional intelligence, which is part of our curriculum, whatever we train, come into the relationship between every member of the Senate? Because they are in a very exalted position that cannot be trifled with. May God help them find their feet again
like you said, without going into the details.
Yes.
But what I admire in Natasha is her perseverance.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know,
I try not to go to Akpabio, but
Yes.
since you mention it,
the person.
she is a courageous person. I've not said she's right. Neither have I said she was wrong.
No.
You know?
No.
But she is a courageous person. A woman's place is not in the kitchen. African men.
And that is what I want to draw.
It is not, please.
I want to draw that analogy, you know, to the clamor now for reserved seats. Nigerian women need to need to push further.
Yes.
And push harder if they want to see that bill, you know, scale through. So it's not just staging peace work or carrying banner. No, you must demonstrate. She demonstrated, you know, her resolve, her courage.
I like that.
Yes. So I think it is time.
Make it a little, not just keep to the word. Was it Beijing action? What was that? 35%,
Yes,
whatever.
yes.
Did we implement it, Claire?
No,
Lip service.
Well, we
To some extent,
we didn't get to 35%.
We didn't.
We didn't get
There
to
was an
35%.
But there was an
Yes,
improvement.
there was an attempt.
Yes.
There were attempts. There were attempts, you know. Today, you get maybe 1 or 2 women in the National Assembly. The next system will come, maybe one to drop to
Exactly.
one. So it's just here and there.
You know,
but
this is something I keep on blaming journalists for. From the Obasanjo time to the Jonathan time, we saw an improvement and all that. We have this problem of not trailing the news. We break the news and run to another story. We should have been watching from Obasanjo, Jonathan, Tinubu, Buhari, Tinubu, whether there has been a progressive a trajectory to keep on giving women these privileges we think they should have.
And
you know,
and I'm
that is
happy-
journalism.
And I'm
That is
happy, and I know that the First Lady, you know, women, you know, have the First Lady support.
You-
Because
You've come again.
Yes, I
Stella-
know. The
Stella
First Lady of Nigeria.
Obasanjo, Remi Tinubu,
No,
Victoria Gowon,
because she has
Miriam
she
Babangida,
has-
they are my
she has
stars.
shown such empathy
Courage,
for women
deport,
and children issues.
home training.
Yes, you know, and look at the fund she raised
Yes,
during
that's
her
for
birthday.
the national.
And for
She
the
said-
national, for the
Library.
National Library, it's for training
And
of
she
children.
said,
It's for the education of children.
actually, I wrote something yesterday. I commended her effort and said, but First Lady, if you asked me before you did this, I would have asked you to channel it to our health institutions. They are virtually dead, you know. But then she must have a reason for choosing the National Library.
You see, if you say the health institutions are virtually dead, the health managers will ask you to be specific.
Yeah.
To be specific.
Yes.
Because that's a sweeping statement you
Yes.
just made. Because I know, we did.
Claire, it's not everything you say.
Yeah.
My wife has dementia. She had a fall yesterday, and I have to rush her to hospital.
Yes,
I know
but-
what I saw.
No, but that's
I know what I
experience.
saw.
That's your
And the
individual
doctor
experience.
was telling me, look, these things, they should be here. But can you please go and get us Jake and all that? I know what I'm talking about. And I've been with Jamilu at National Hospital for the past 2 years.
Which hospital is
After
this?
knocking
Because the
him
Minister
down.
of Health...
I know what I'm talking about.
Sorry, Chukwudi, let's escalate it. Because the Minister of Health is watching.
He
and all
came
the
here.
yes, they are watching. Which hospital is this? Where this facility is
No.
going on?
You don't embarrass people
No,
to
Claire.
that. No, you don't do that, please.
You
You
don't
don't.
You don't go into
You
that.
don't do that.
No.
You don't do
Let
that.
us- no,
But I
sorry.
have been to
Hold
many
on.
health
No,
institutions,
hold on,
and I
Chukwudi.
know we need.
Hold on,
But
Chukwudi.
remember that our minister party came here and was talking about ways now to fund
Chukwudi,
health.
Chukwudi,
So
let
they
me
are
just-
aware of the gap.
Chukwudi, there is a gap. There was
Yes.
an incident that happened with a patient
Yeah,
in
that
Abuja.
went viral, right?
that went viral.
Okay.
It went viral.
Yes.
And the issue is, when you encounter such a situation, please don't keep it to yourself. Let the health authority. Demola, you were here. We had a conversation on the subsidy, on the dialysis subsidy.
Yes.
And a patient had to call and said, look, I went to one of the teaching hospitals in Ibadan.
Yes.
And they said, yes, we're implementing the subsidy.
Yes.
But it is not for you, patient. It is for us to pay our debts. On Good Morning Nigeria was escalated. And
Okay,
you
Claire,
know,
thank
the
you.
right thing was done.
Thank you. We have
So,
to
please,
draw the
let's
curtain.
do the right. Let's do the right thing.
Well,
If you see something, say something.
yeah, that's what he's doing.
Exactly.
That's what he's doing.
If you see something,
Let's be
say something.
open about our dear country.
Yes.
Yes.
We all know
Anyway.
that, I mean, the health sector is grossly underfunded.
Exactly.
There is need for more funds.
It's almost
into the sector.
a situation of
So
duress.
no,
I
we
mean,
can't argue that. Anyway, we just have to, draw the curtain here. It's good to see you again.
Same here.
So look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.
Bless you.
Jules,
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a break now. When we return, the conversation will kickstart. Stay with us.
Progress. Progress.